generation, from our youth, and there's very little leaders for them. So if you have a hot pot unattended, will boil over.
And boil over it did. Over several days in April, rioters took over the streets of Baltimore, looting, setting fires, and damaging property, all in the wake of Freddie Gray's death. Welcome to this edition of 11 TV Hill. I'm Jason Newton, and today we're marking 6 months since those riots, and it began as a routine arrest on April the 12th. But at some point, something went wrong. 7 days later, Freddie Gray was dead. 48 hours after that, shattered glass and flames would fill the air of Charm City. April 25th, it was a day of demonstration. It came days after former police chief Anthony Batts admitted that mistakes were made in the arrest of Freddie Gray. Thousands would march the streets of Baltimore, converging on City Hall, unified in cause. That unity would splinter. Peaceful protests would later be marred by unrest. Streets blocked, items thrown, squad cars claimed as spoils of the protest, and the officers once in them now protected behind riot gear.
Don't let the fact that my cousin died be in vain.
Calls from the family of Freddie Gray were not enough. Anger boiled over, creating a standoff not seen in Baltimore for decades. It would eventually calm, with the wake and funeral of Freddie Gray on the horizon, but that peace would only be temporary. April 27th, as mourners eulogized Gray, residents were on edge, and rioting would spark once again.
We need shields down here. We're getting creamed.
The area around Mondawmin Mall would be the kindling for a fire that would burn into the night. Pharmacies, liquor stores looted, cars set on fire. But hope in the streets. Pastors, clergymen, elected officials fearlessly walking to put an end to this violence. The National Guard would be called in, and a state of emergency would be declared with a curfew now in place. By morning, one Baltimore, an effort to restore what was burned, destroyed, and defaced. Volunteers from across the region under the watchful eye of police working together, following a movement that had the beginnings of division, all with the hope to never see this type of unrest again. When you think back to that day, working, and probably before you even got to her, what's the first memory that comes to mind?
Well, the first memory is arriving at New Shiloh Baptist Church, which is really the epicenter of religion in West Baltimore, and arriving there to cover the funeral for Freddie Gray. That was my assignment that day. And we all basically believed that was going to be the lead story of the newscast. So I remember waiting outside the church, waiting with throngs of media from really all over the world, covering the actual funeral, which was a very peaceful, thoughtful event. I remember talking to Jesse Jackson, who said, you know, the world is watching Baltimore today. You know, little did we know the degree to which the world would be watching Baltimore that day.
Do you remember a moment where, I guess, their emotion changed? I guess at some point you start to either hear or get word that things change. And this is a family who asked for peace all day.
Yes.
And now they're getting the exact opposite. Do you remember that turn?
Absolutely, I remember that turn. We were putting our story together for the 5 o'clock news. So we were working in our live truck, writing and editing. And a gentleman knocked on the window and said, "I'd like to speak to you." He said, "I don't want you to use my name. I don't even want to go on camera." He said, "But the city is a tinderbox, and you guys need to know that." And within an hour, everything changed.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was not a participant in the protests, but he could feel it, and he could feel it in his gut.
Sure, and I guess after a while, I mean, it just starts to, when I was watching on TV, it's sweeping everyone into it. So in their path from Mondawmin, as you make your way to North Avenue, you know, it's gathering. It's like a big snowball.
It's a big snowball, and you could hear it, and you could hear it getting louder and louder. And we stayed, at least initially, in that location. It was unclear where our assignment was going to take us in those basically in the first hour and a half. So we were there, but you could hear it getting louder and louder, and then eventually you could smell the fire.
Sure. I remember I was in the basement of my parents' place with my dad. I think my thought was, or my fear was, there's no way to end it. Firstly, I felt emotional about the story since being here.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever feel like we weren't, like this couldn't end? Like how do you stop?
Yeah, I definitely felt like, who has the ability to make it end? Is it one person? Is it one group? You know, having covered so many of the issues preceding this, we know how systemic the problems are. You know, we know how disenfranchised people have felt for such a long time. So while you thought perhaps the surface fires could end, you knew the deeper burning was going to take something huge.
Sure.
And you know, we haven't really seen that yet.
The image we always see of you is you with pastors walking down North Avenue.
Yeah.
Was that a feeling of hope for you, that you knew that people weren't going to just let this run away by itself?
Yeah, that was such a powerful moment. I think in all my years in TV, which is 27, that was the most powerful experience I've ever had. I felt very safe. You know, here we were marching into the unrest, and yet I felt so protected. The ministers and the members of clergy wanted to sort of hold on to me, and you know, as a journalist, you have to be really careful, because I really wasn't one of the marchers. I was marching with them. I was marching alongside them. I was not an active participant, and yet the lines get kind of blurred that day, because they really wanted to protect me. I was the only local television reporter who was with them, so they felt very protective of me. But as we got closer to the unrest, I didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Going into October, and then we'll get into next year as well, how hot is the tinderbox now, do you think, going into some of these trials and coming back out? Do you worry at all?
I do worry. I do worry, because I think so many people are looking towards the judicial process to right many wrongs. And I think that is concerning for me, putting so much weight on these 6 trials. So, I mean, I can't imagine things ever being as bad as they were, and yet you just don't know.
Sure. I know for me, and I'll ask you a personal question, for me, I think it's made me listen more to both sides of this. I mean, sometimes you hear arguments within a city, within a police department, and you sort of, it'll fix itself. And now I hear myself hearing people talk more about jobs and opportunity, and a lot of people think that hinges on the change. For you, was there a personal revelation with that metamorphosis, say, that you went through, or are you still sort of
You know what?
soaking it in?
I'm still soaking it in.
Yeah.
It's very interesting that you say that, because it's been 6 months, but it feels like it's been years.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, I think it has been years. You know, years of a dream deferred for so many people. So there's not one personal moment where I sort of had an epiphany. I just felt like all the stories that I'd done prior to this, all the stories about crime, all the stories about victims, all the stories about perpetrators, why someone does what they do, I felt like it all kind of came together on this one day.
Deb Weiner looking back 6 months.